Like a little while back, I was after a birthday present, and I really wanted to. I don't know, just get something different. Like I dress the same. I haven't, my style hasn't not, yeah, it hasn't really changed in the last however long, and so I wanted something just different for me. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get a chain. I'm going to get a necklace, bit of jewellery, something, and like I'd grown up around jewellery. Dad's a jeweller, but his kind of vibe never really appealed to me to wear like straight up. It's very it's fine jewellery, so it doesn't really suit necessarily to my style, and so I still just had like this real appreciation for it, and so I started sussing things out and like looking for something to buy something. I never even thought of making it myself until the one thing that I found that I really dug was like this anatomical heart necklace, but it was just too small, and it was done it was done really well, but too realistic, and I wanted something a little bit more interpretive with a bit of kind of character in it, or whatever, and couldn't quite find what I wanted. But I like the idea of the anatomical heart as a dude's kind of reflection as of being in touch emotionally or with his feelings, or what, and so it's still got a little bit of a harder edge to it, and so I was like, I'm just gonna make it. Like when I was a kid, I was shown how to work with metal. I knew how to forge, I knew how to solder, I knew how to carve, but I was just a kid, and I was just doing like the rough bits and pieces to help out whenever whenever Dad needed it or whenever Dad wanted it, and trying to get me I guess to be a part of something wholesome. And so I knew the basics around it. I'm sure I could make it myself. And so I went to Dad's and like grabbed a whole bunch of like equipment, and took it home, and it was real makeshift equipment though. I got this metho candle, and this dentist spatula, like the tools that dentists use in your mouth on your teeth, and a bunch of wax, and I sat there like heating the spatula for 30 seconds, and then running it through the wax, and then using a little scalpel to carve as well. And just with that, like I made this I say anatomical heart, but it's still quite interpretive, and I was like real stoked on it. And I'm like, I've just made my birthday present, so Joe, you're going to have to find something else to get me, but this is what I was after. And so I cast it, and like had the satisfaction of making it myself when I cleaned it and polished it, and then I wore it, and I had my birthday party, and I wore it at my birthday, and dudes were like, oh, it's rad, like where did you get that from? I'm like, oh, I made it. And everybody knew that my dad was a jeweler, but nobody was like, I'd never discussed this with anybody. And so I was like, I made it, and everyone was like, oh, bullshit, like it's real cool, like loved it. And it's just like, oh, make me one. Nobody asked for anything like separate to that or unique. But as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, like real stoked to have that like acknowledgement from people who'd seen something that I'd made and really were feeling it. So I'm like, I'm gonna make more of this stuff. And so from there, I'm like, this is my path. This is like my business, something that I want to do with my life. That's a passion that I'd like to make a living from. Yeah.